guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you are new to my channel, join the fearless tribe. Hello. Okay, so I am super excited today because I'm gonna do my first ever story time video. So I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, how have I not done story time videos when I've had the weirdest life? I've done a lot of weird things. I absolutely did not take the normal route of life. And this is just one of the many stories I will share with you guys in the future about the strange life directions I have taken. So grab a snack. Grab a snack. So this is something I've touched on ever so briefly, but I've never really given the whole story about it. Alright, so background on this. When I was younger, I've always been chubby my whole life. Chubby, you know, whatever word you want to call it. I was overweight growing up. And around high school, that's a whole nother story. I ended up leaving high school early and going to college early, but that's a whole nother story time video, which I will do another time. So back in that time around high school, when I left high school, I went through a really rough time. That's probably where I started to lose myself and I kind of lost my confidence. I actually don't think I ever really gained confidence at that time. I just had a really rough time with my body, my self-esteem, my mental state. So I started to use food as a comfort for me, especially when I got my license. Once I turned 16 and I had freedom to like get a job and drive, like I would just not eat healthily. And that's another video as well, my binge eating struggle, which I think I've actually made videos on in the past. I just had a really rough relationship with food and I just didn't have portion control. I had tried Jenny Craig. I had lost a lot of weight on Jenny Craig, but the second I got off of it, I gained it back pretty quickly. If you guys want to know more about that, let me know about like Jenny Craig stuff. I'll make a video about Jenny Craig. So I was just really sick of not having portion control and not being able to like control my food intake. Like, I don't know. I was just really sick of it. Like, you know when you just get to that point where you're just like, I need to make a change. I had tried so many different things. Jenny Craig hadn't worked for me. I worked out really well constantly. Like I've been a gym rat from like age 12. My grandma and I used to go to the gym after school every day starting from like middle school. And I still work out and I love working out. It's good for my endorphins and my brain because, you know, we're all a little bit mentally wonky. So my mom and I, my mom is my best friend, by the way. It's been me and my mom since I was a young girl. Just the two of us. She's my girl, my best friend, and she gets me. So we started looking into options for a weight loss surgery. And there were a lot of options at the time, but at that time specifically, this was back in like what, 2000, I think like, wait, let me think for a second. Okay, this was like 2008, 2009. So I was 16 years old at this time. This was when I was a lot heavier, and it was just, it's funny because I actually remember this one day specifically. My mom came into my bedroom one morning and she actually said to me, I really need you to step on the scale right now. And I just remember being so caught off guard. And I got on the scale and the number was so much higher than it had been in a really long time because I had not gone on that scale in a very long time. And it was horrifying. Like I gained a lot of weight and I was just completely unaware of it. It was sad and actually it scared me because I was in denial about it. I was using food as comfort and I just was not in a good place. But anyway, that's a whole other story. My relationship with food and weight loss and all this jazz, all that jazz. So my mom and I started looking into weight loss surgeries, and at that time when I was 16, and this was like, you know, almost a decade ago, the weight loss surgeries were only available to ages 18 and above. And I just felt really desperate and like I just did not want to wait, and we were looking into alternatives and we noticed on the Google feed that you could get lap band surgery specifically in Mexico at age 16. And if I know what your first reaction is going to be like, what are you doing, girl? Yeah, Mexico. We had looked at other options too, like in the States. I want to say Texas was one of the states that allowed weight loss surgery at age 16, but it was not in Massachusetts where I am from. There was just not a lot of option at that time, and even if it was in my state, I could have used my health insurance, but I was not 18. In the States, it was very expensive if you did not do it through your insurance. So on a Google feed, it came up as one of the top recommended doctors doing weight loss surgery for teenagers, and he was like world renowned. He was on Oprah. He was on Oprah. Where's it, Dr. Phil? Oh snap, oh snap. I want to say Oprah. Like my first thought is Oprah. I remember he was just on a very huge talk show with very positive reviews. His name was Dr. Ortiz. And he was in Tijuana, Mexico. It was an extremely professional service, and I know I'm gonna get so much judgment on this, but I'm very honest. I'm not gonna like hide stuff from you guys. I've told you about this before. So we made the appointment and we did all of the pre-surgical things on like video chat and through phone call. And I did have to go and get a physical at my regular doctor, all of that jazz. It was extremely professional and legitimate. I want to clarify that many times before I continue because I have no shade of this doctor or experience. This is simply a story time. So we got our paperwork ready. I had been working a little bit. I had some money saved. My mom also contributed because she's a really good mom and she knew how much this meant to me. And I was just very excited because I'd been researching a lot of weight loss surgeries. I did a lot of research and I liked that this one was not permanent. If you don't know what lap band is, I'm gonna link down that video of my lap band journey down below so you can get some more info, or you can Google it, whatever's more comfortable. It's just a little band that sits at the top of your stomach that is inflated to create a smaller stomach. So your stomach's down here, they put a tube at the top so it creates a little stomach up here so you feel fuller faster. And essentially, you just get full a lot faster and that would lead to weight loss. It's great for people with portion control. But you should research a lot before you do this. I don't want to get too into the lap band. I'm just going through the story. Oh my God. So I did my physical and talked to him on the phone and just got everything ready. We flew into California, my mom and I. It all happened very quick. I think it was within like a month of when we first had found the surgeon. The price was a lot cheaper. It was still a lot of money because it's surgery, but it was a lot cheaper than in the States. So we flew to California. We didn't really get to explore California or anything like that. They had a bus pick us up with some other patients as well because a lot of people were doing this there, and it's very legal. It's not it's not like illegal under the table fake doctor. Trust me, we did a lot of research and this doctor was extremely reputable, and so was his clinic where he did everything in the hospital, a normal hospital. So we got picked up by a van at the California airports, and there was probably about 5 other people, and one of them I had actually made friends with at the time. She was also around my age, younger, struggled with her weight a lot. There was actually some older people there as well. The only thing that's kind of weird to me was that I don't know how like the prerequisites were to get into this. Like I thought you had to weigh a certain amount or have a certain BMI to be able to do this surgery. But like one of the people getting it done was maybe like to me she looked like a size 10, and I was like, what are you doing here, girl? Again, I don't know what the prerequisites were. Like I had just been focusing on myself because I was very nervous. This was like my first real surgery. For some reason, I was not afraid to go to Tijuana for surgery. I was just doing it. My mom was there with me, had my back. So we got to the hotel. They put us in an extremely nice hotel. That was included in the fees for all of it, which was pretty rad. It just included everything. The shuttle. I was a little bit nervous because I don't think my license had come in the mail yet, and I had my permit, but I don't know if they considered that like a legal form of documentation. So I was very nervous going through border control. But we all got through that. We got to the hotel, which was really nice and very close to the hospital. So the first night we could not eat, of course, but I think they even fed my mom, which was great. We also had to do a physical the day before. I think the process was fairly quick. I know this was a long time ago, but I think the day before, like we went in for like a physical, just to have some things checked and just to get you ready for surgery. Did not eat that night. Woke up the next morning and then we went in for surgery. So I think they take like 5 people at a time almost, and just they go through for like the week kind of situation, and then you recover for a few days before you go home. Yeah, so it was literally a very normal looking hospital. The area was very normal looking to me. I know there's a lot of preconceived notions about Tijuana. I didn't have any bad experiences there. Of course, I'm sure like every other place, there are good and bad parts. So the only thing that was interesting though, we did see a truck with police holding rifles in the back driving around. That was a little worrisome. That was worrisome, but you know. So I had the surgery and I woke up the next morning just in my hospital bed. Lap band surgery itself, the day after, you feel extremely gassy. Not gassy like passing gas, but like your stomach is filled with air from them doing it microscopically. If you don't know anything about that too, they made very small incisions. You know, actually I'll show you. So I still have scars to this day. So I have one here. This was my biggest scar where my port was. And then there were just some little scars around here where they go in and do the surgery. But this was where my port was, where they would fill the liquid for the lap band. So for the next few days when you're recovering, I think we only had like 2 or 3 days before we flew home. It's basically just a lot of walking like around the hospital to get the gas like flowing. Like I'm gonna be honest, I think I burped a lot releasing the gas in my stomach, but other than that it was just a natural process, drinking juice and Gatorade. And then we flew home. The only thing I remember, I didn't get to see much of Mexico or California or anything like that when I was traveling. The only thing I remember is walking across the street to a convenience store when we were in Mexico the night before my surgery to get like water or something for my mom. And it was very pleasant, very warm. Flying home was absolutely not pleasant though. I do believe they kept us for an appropriate amount of days to make sure everything was fine, but it was still very uncomfortable. Even though the scars are so small, the gas pain was very extreme, and that's super normal for this kind of surgery though. I looked it up, and you feel a very sharp pain in one of your shoulders with gas pain when you are like blown up to be operated inside. So I love that they do it microscopically, I can't talk though, because it goes in, it's minimal scarring, it's like minimally invasive, and it's so much less painful when it comes to healing. When I got home, I ended up being on bed rest for a few days. I had actually kept in touch with one of the girls that I had had the surgery with. Everyone seemed to have very normal experiences when we were all recovering, like walking around together in the hospital to move that gas around. Very pleasant experiences. The staff was extremely nice and normal, and it was just a very pleasant experience. Like I would have not been able to tell that we weren't in the US. Everyone spoke English. It was just normal. So I got home and I recovered. I had been given very specific instructions. You could call them at any time. They were very, very pleasant. The surgeon, Dr. Ortiz, was so nice. He was just so freaking nice. I have no regrets on that specifically. The only thing is I thought I had researched a lot, both my mother and myself, but I wish I had researched a little bit more. So they had collaborated with the US because a lot of people were coming from the US for filling up the lap band. You have to get fills on it every so often to keep it working. And the closest fill center to us was in New Jersey, which was like a 6-hour drive. So we ended up driving there a couple of times, but I was not able to get as many fills as I needed in my lap band to get it to work properly. Although I did lose about 60, maybe 70 pounds with this surgery, I did end up getting it removed in the US, like maybe after having it for 2 years. When I was 18, I had a doctor really locally take it out through my health insurance because I felt I had developed enough sense of portion control and a good relationship with food from that process, and I was just ready to have it out because you couldn't have Diet Coke, and I know Diet Coke is bad, but I love Diet Coke. Side note. So in those 2 years that I had the lap band and I wasn't able to drink any soda, I don't think I noticed a difference on that specifically, because I know a lot of people think that soda, probably over time, but that's a whole nother story. But having the lap band overall, I don't regret it because I don't know where I would have gone without it. It did make me full so much faster, and you can't have bread when you're on it. You can have very whole grain bread, like very, very grainy, because the texture can get a little bit wonky with like white breads and starches. So it almost forces you to eat a more healthy diet. So it kind of just helped me get to a good place with food. I was getting better portion control. I was almost just changing my habits. And in that time too, I started my self-love journey, which I know sounds corny, but I really started to experience more love for myself throughout that time as I was starting to make healthier choices. So I started at a size 20 and now I'm a 14, and I have been able to keep the weight off since I got my lap band removed, which is pretty huge, and I'm happy for myself. I have no desire personally to lose more weight because I'm just comfortable where I am. I still go to the gym and try to eat my best to have a healthy diet, but I'm happy where I am. I'm comfortable. I feel healthy, you know, everything is in check at the doctor. But yeah, I don't regret the surgery at all. And I know it sounds crazy. I almost want to do this too because I think when people hear like you got surgery in Mexico, they're like, girl, hold up. But honestly, I did not have a negative experience at all. Everything was extremely smooth. The only thing I would say, just make sure you want it. I was really glad that mine was not permanent and that it could be removed, because I know people who have had like gastric bypass where there's permanent removal in the stomach, and they end up regretting it later. I really liked that mine was a piece that could have been taken out. I didn't have any issue with it, so it's just like, it's crazy. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend going to just anyone in another country. I would make sure to 1000% do your research, because we looked up this doctor like crazy, my mom and myself. But he was very, very pleasant, and I also had all my paperwork. They give you everything that you need for tools as well. But when it comes to surgery, again, look everything up, lots and lots of research, and make sure you are ready and you want it. It happened very quickly for me. Would I change that? Honestly, no. Somehow it just worked out really well for me. I know a lot of people though do it without doing enough research. Because I didn't get enough like fills to keep it going properly, it didn't work completely right, and I did have some problem processing food in my stomach. But when I did do it right, it worked completely fine when I got it filled up. But taking trips to New Jersey every month is not easy. But that's my story time of getting surgery in Mexico. I have no regrets. It really, really helped me personally, because I just did not have a good relationship with food, and it absolutely helped so much. And I'm at a very stable place and a very peaceful place with my body. But I really hope we can keep the comments very positive and uplifting. But I really just wanted to share this in a story time video and just do my first ever story time. If you guys like this, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment or whatever, and let me know. And I will do more story times, because I have many other strange experiences in my life, because I don't like to be inside the box. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.